Yo, what's up? This your boy Derek Brunch here with SportsTalk365.com. And tonight I just want to talk about and break down my first ever 2020 in New Orleans Saints 2020 NFL mock draft. This will be my first and only mock draft that I'll be doing. Um, I know there are many out there that are pretty much savvy at the draft and pretty much a subject matter expert when it comes to the NFL draft. I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it in message boards. When it comes to the Saints, I see mock drafts. I've seen about 20 different mock drafts come across my timeline on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook. Many with it involves the Saints. I'm subscribed to the Athletic, so I see theirs. Seen many other mock drafts, and I'm not competing with anybody. Don't take me too serious with this stuff. This is pure speculation in regards to where I think the Saints are gonna go with this year's draft. You know, they can. Don't be surprised if they try to move up in the draft, get extra picks in the later rounds. There's so many different options they can go in this year's draft. They're being real quiet as usual. This is just pure speculation with these picks, but I'm just going off of my observation of the team and of how they perform in certain positions over in 2019 and in this draft. I believe they can fill those voids going forward. Now I just think that this draft for the Saints is was going to mainly be about depth. Having depth, some quality guys they can find in the later rounds of the draft that I'm gonna talk about tonight. Um, and I think there's one position that I think that's really in need, and that's gonna be linebacker. I'm gonna be explaining very soon what I mean by that. Don't be. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not. I won't make a big deal out of it. I'm doing this for fun. Just trying to take a just stab at it. See if I can. If I probably gonna get one or two of these picks right. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see what the team does in 2 days from now. Just being prepared because anything can happen between now and Thursday night with these picks with the draft. They can go in different directions, but we'll see. But I'm gonna go over the Saints picker at the first round pick in the draft. They pick at 24, and I'm gonna go with um, Kenny Murray out of Oklahoma. I know there's many out there that pushing for the Saints to draft LSU players. LSU has developed many linebackers that have been good at going covering from side to side linebackers, good in coverage, good in doing other things in that with that position. But I think that Patrick Queen may become a great linebacker, but when did it happen? This year? Did he have a body of work of doing it over the time? You know, I just think that Murray's ceiling may be higher, and I think it could be what the Saints need to get over the hump in regards to that position because they let the AJ Klein, who I thought was a good linebacker, solid linebacker, not great. Did some good things in coverage. We had facing certain quarterbacks, certain teams, but I felt like if we move on from him and upgrade, then we should do it. And he signed with the Bills. I wish him the best out there. going back to a team, working with a coach that he's familiar with, in Sean McDermott when he's with the Carolina Panthers. So I think if we bring in Kenny Murray, it'll be Kenny Murray, Alex Anzalone, and Demario Davis. I know they brought back Kiko Alonso, who's a pretty good linebacker. And Alex Anzalone is a pretty good linebacker, still a young linebacker, but when he's on the field, he's pretty good. Makes a lot of big plays. Pretty good going side to side. Good in coverage, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy throughout his time in New Orleans. So I just think that the Saints are gonna go with a linebacker at that 24 pick. I just because the teams that they face this season, can pretty much take advantage of our linebacking core as we've seen last season against the San Francisco 49ers. And when we got guys out there that are hurt, linebackers that are hurt, that can be good in coverage, the Saints may be in trouble. So I think they get young this year by selecting Kenny Murray at that position, along with they'll have Kenny Murray, Demario Davis, and Alex Anzalone if he can stay healthy for the majority of the season. I think it'll be a great move for the Saints to draft Kenny Murray and pair him up with Demario Davis, Alex Anzalone. I think it'll be a great linebacking core. But I'm just gonna read you his scouting report on Kenny Murray. You can find his scouting report at draftwire.usatoday.com. All right, so his vitals, he's 6'2", weighed 241 pounds, a junior. Strengths is speed is the name of Murray's game. With slashing style that gets him into the offensive backfield with ease. His aggressiveness allows him to get in a position to make a play for the defense. His first step gets him in the position to make plays very decisive. His range is sideline to sideline, what the Saints need. When Murray sets his sights on the ball carrier, he can be very explosive in his tackle attempt. He oftentimes would go through the ball carrier, which are much highlight worthy plays. He doesn't show any problems in wrapping up to bring down the ball carrier, and rarely loses his grasp. That's pretty good tangibles for a linebacker. But weaknesses, he got while one might point to his aggressiveness as positive, it can also bite him. Murray can overrun the floor of a play that allows the back an easy cutback option. Better play recognition through film study will also help Murray make better decisions. So that's pretty much a snippet of his weaknesses along with his strengths. But like I say, man, look, these issues I believe can be fixed once Murray joins the Saints. We got a good linebacker coach. We have one. We're probably gonna try to be time. We'll have to see what the new linebacker coach does. Hopefully, learn a lot from Mike Nolan. So these things can be fixed, man. It can be fixed. He's a rookie, and I just think it will be better if the Saints draft Kenny Murray out of Oklahoma. So there's that for that first pick, 24. And the Saints don't have a second round pick this year in the draft. They go back to they don't pick again till the third round. And with that third round selection, I'm gonna have a surprise for you. You think he's gonna be on the radar, but I think he's the best sleeper in the draft, and that's Memphis wide receiver Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson is a pretty good wide receiver. I've seen him firsthand. I'm a credential journalist for the University for Sports Talk 365. I covered the Memphis Tigers football team this year. They went to the New Year's Six Bowl, known as the Cotton Bowl this year, and I seen Antonio Gibson play firsthand, and if the Saints really use it, be smart about it, they can have two versions, two Alvin Kamara's on the field because this guy is that good. He can be a running back. He can play running back, be in the slot, kick returner, punt returner. He can take top off of defenses. Is pretty good in the open. Pretty much that gadget player that Sean Payton likes to use. Maybe if you incorporate him into this offense, you probably Taysom Hill could take a step back and learn how to be a quarterback. You know, but just he can do so much. The game against SMU when college game day was down in Memphis, he ran up for over a combined all had over 300 all-purpose yards against SMU. Great player, big time player, is clutch. Not afraid of the limelight. He can play in the slot, or put him in the backfield. He can do things similar to what Alvin Kamara can do when he's healthy. So I think either it may be a reach at drafting him in the third round, but who knows what other teams may be looking at him as well. I'm just gonna go through a couple of his scouting report on him real quick. Gibson is a player who can make an impact from several positions. Used primarily as a slot receiver at Memphis, Gibson can line up as a wideout if necessary. He has great speed off the snap and has dynamic long speed, making him a worthy vertical threat if utilized in that role. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he is quick to accelerate, and he also has the vision to discover opportunities in which he can extend the play and break free for a gain. He has solid bursts coming out of his breaks, and his overall fluidity and body control when running routes across the middle of the field is pretty solid. His 2019 production, while sparse in quantity, was promising, as he had 735 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns on just 38 catches. Despite technically being a receiver in college, many believe Gibson is better suited as a running back in the pros. He tallied 369 yards and 4 touchdowns on just 36 carries, racking up an insane 11.2 yards per carry on the ground. Plenty of his traits indicate he can move over to running back as he's an electric athlete who has a strong and powerful frame. His contact balance is impressive. He's a determined runner who runs with a low center of gravity. Gibson was also an effective kick returner in 2019 as he had 645 yards and a touchdown on 22 returns. He also has experience covering kicks and offers high upside as a special teams gunner. He projects very well as a Cordell Patterson-like piece for an offense at the next level. So that's just the tangibles that the Saints need. That's just right up Sean Payton's alley right there. A wide receiver that you can put him in a bunch of situations that he can excel in. You can even have some opportunities to let him play running back. Be that other back that teams may have to worry about. Yeah, we already got Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray. Now you got the Washington guy. Now you got Antonio Gibson as another option. So I think if the Saints, if they grab him at the third round selection, I think it'd be pretty solid for the team. I think he can come into this team and contribute right away. So that's what I got for my third round selection for the Saints. Take a quick break. Be right back. I'm back. Gotta go grab some water real quick. believe we going to the fourth round draft, and we're gonna go fourth round. We're gonna keep it in house with the Saints' usual selection of selecting players out of the Ohio State University. And with the fourth round selection, the New Orleans Saints select Damon Arnette out of the Ohio State University. Um, Now I say we select another DB because, as I said in the opening statement, this draft for the Saints is mainly about depth, building quality depth at certain positions. And cornerback is no different because the Saints have always seemed to struggle later in the year with finding depth with defensive backs, especially at corner. We saw it last year. Eli Apple fell off at the start of the Atlanta Falcons game, and he just spiraled from there and got injured. Never really got back on the field. The team went out and got Janoris Jenkins, Jackrabbit off of waivers from the Giants, and he did a solid job in the plays that we did see them in. But that's neither here nor there. But Jenkins in his 30s, his mid 30s right now, and I believe Damon Arnette could step in and see some action if possible. It would be a great pickup, great signing. If they draft Damon Arnette, a good corner, quality corner out of Ohio State University. Sean Payton is known to go to the well at the Ohio State University and draft players out of that school. Malcolm Jenkins, Michael Thomas, Von Bell, who's with the Bengals now, Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple over here from not too long ago. So it's just a place that he's very comfortable with, very familiar with the coaching staff, friends with Urban Meyer. So Damon Arnette could be a pretty good corner for depth, reasons. As many of you already know, defensive players with the Saints that are selected in the mid to late rounds of the draft usually see action. And this one be no different. We saw it last year with Carl Granderson. Saw it with C.J. Gardner-Johnson after everybody was saying he wasn't going to see any action on the field, and look what ended up happening. Became one of the best players on defense last year. So Arnette, I think he could strive in his defense, given the proper guidance and coaching with his ball club. And is gonna go through the scouting report on him real quick. Arnette is a well-rounded cornerback who possesses physicality, length, and awareness in this game. While his average athleticism could prevent him from being a first-round pick, those aforementioned skill traits, along with his ability to play on the outside or in the slot, to see him come off the board on day two. Day two, I think he's gonna drop to day 3, probably. Day 2 or 3. Ohio State has produced several talented, pro-ready defensive backs in recent years, and Arnette is no exception. Like I said, a 2-year starter who also played a significant role in the Buckeyes secondary in 2017. Arnette tallied 22 pass breakups in 3 seasons after his redshirt freshman year. He has good length at the cornerback position and has the frame to keep up with some of the taller wide receivers on the boundary. Mike Evans, who else? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Julio. He's a willing engager in press coverage, as he does a good job of jamming the receivers immediately at the line of scrimmage and being a nuisance through a receiver's route stem. His jab at the point of attack is powerful and can knock receivers off their route pattern, eliminating them from the play. Arnett plays with intelligence and does a good job of anticipating and mirroring routes while reading the eyes of the quarterback and diagnosing the play. He plays with the awareness to limit the receiver's ability to attack his blind spot and knows how to deceive his opponents with false leverage points. His footwork in his back pedal is polished, and he has overall solid fluidity in short area situations. He's also a versatile cornerback, having experience and positive tape as a boundary cornerback, field cornerback, or in the slot. We need that. Saints need guys in the slot. We're facing many slot receivers on the schedule this year, so it would help out with depth, help out with PJ Williams, who I think should be moved to safety. We'll go over his weaknesses a little bit. For all that Arnett brings to the table, a lack of high-end athleticism prevents him from being a true top-tier cornerback in this year's class. He doesn't have fantastic deep speed and can be tested by speedy wideouts on vertical routes. Hey, look, I'm not saying the guy is going to start, but hopefully, he can develop working with this team. I'm not saying he'll start, but he can develop into a solid cornerback on this team. You got Marshawn Lattimore, you got Jack Rabbit, Janoris Jenkins, you got Malcolm Jenkins back there. So he has time to grow. I think, like I said, these picks are for depth reasons. So we'll see how it goes. And that 4-round selection. 5th round, I got 5th round. Let's see. Let me see what I got. 5th round selection. We got. One second. We got Michigan State defensive end Kenny Willekes. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Kenny Willekes. These are the type of players that the Saints usually go after in the draft. Guys that are hard workers, has a great story behind them, works hard, blue collar, willing to work to get his. Kenny Willekes is no different. He came on to Michigan State as a walk-on and became an All-American. I've seen some of his tape, his highlights. Solid player, he can get to the quarterback. He's pretty good in run situations. Good against stopping read option quarterbacks. I was impressed with that, and I just believe that we have to go after another defensive end in the draft. It's not as strong as it was in previous seasons, but if we can grab Kenny Wilkes in the 5th round of the draft, I believe that we have a great player. We would have a great player if we do that. So I'm gonna go over his scouting report real quick. Kenny Wilkes, edge rusher, Michigan State, a high-motor walk-on who defied the odds and became highly productive for Michigan State. Wilkes has determination and the work ethic to outplay his draft positioning at the next level. While average athletic traits will limit his ceiling, he's an intelligent and refined rusher who should stick on the NFL roster. Yep. Strengths. If there's one thing Wilkes has plenty of, it's determination. Wilkes fights hard on every snap and doesn't stop fighting to get to the ball until the whistle blows. He keeps his legs churning and works to get inside inside hand leverage when engaged with blockers. He uses his hands well as he has solid arsenal of pass rushing techniques in which he showcases solid quickness and a sound plan when he rushes the quarterback. Blockers can struggle against him when he gets leverage as he plays with good pad level and has the strength in his lower body to drive them backwards. Though not a speed demon in space, Wilkes is a consistent tackler, regardless of whether he's engaged with a blocker or is facing up to a ball carrier in open field. He's fairly slippery too, and he can grip and dip past blockers and attack their set points with precision. His production in college is also certainly impressive. He had 23.5 sacks and 49 tackles for a loss in the 3 seasons he played. Nice weaknesses. I mean, to me, this ain't nothing. I believe that it can be fixed. Like I've said with the previous players, there's a bit to like in Wilkes' game. Enough that he should be able to be a solid contributor for an NFL team. However, it's unlikely he'll become anything more than that. His physical tools don't jump off the page, as his athleticism is below average for the edge rusher position. His lateral agility prevents his range as a tackler, and his effectiveness as a stand-up rusher and his straight line speed prevents him from making more plays in space. Wilkes can do a better job of plugging up holes against the run, and that he can enhance his ability to hold blocks and preventing opponents from sealing him off. His counter moves, while showing some promise, could stand to improve a little bit more. I mean, they have him as a day 3 pick. What can you say? I think this could be another sleeper in the draft if the Saints select him. Going to a solid coaching staff. The Saints have a great defensive line coach, Ryan Nielsen. He kind of remind me of Trey Hendrickson. High motor, could get to the quarterback, tackler. So I think this would be a great pickup. So that being said, we go to round. Maybe go to round 3, round 4, round 5. I believe it's round 5. We got round 5 is this guy, quarterback. We go quarterback. And I think that after just looking over the quarterbacks in this year's draft, Saints have no shot of getting Joe Burrow, so that punch dream is over. No shot of getting Tua Tagovailoa. That's pretty much gone. Unless, like I said, anything crazy can happen on draft night. So, with that being said, I think the Saints will draft a quarterback unless something happens between now and Thursday night when they sign a quarterback, a veteran. But this is nothing but this can turn out to be something. Cole McDonald out of Hawaii University. McDonald comes from a school that is known for having high scoring offenses, great quarterback play. Out of position, similar to what you see in places like Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. Quarterbacks throwing for over 4,000 to 5,000 yards a year, 30 something touchdown passes, and this is what you got in man. This is what you got in Cole McDonald. Quarterback, got good size to him, 6'3", throw for over 4,000 yards this past season, 33 touchdowns, I believe. Got size. I've seen his highlights. seen his tape. Got some mobile ability. You know, like any other player in the draft, he got some things he could work on. Even Joe Burrow gonna have things that he's gonna his weaknesses that he's gonna have to improve on at the next level. But I think this could be a project right here. Um, Quarterbacks, you know, it depends on what type of quarterback there is and the team that it goes to. And Sean Payton is a quarterback whisperer. And if you know, if this is the guy, the heir apparent to Drew Brees, or is it Taysom Hill, we'll find out. But I'm gonna just give this scout report on read it. Cole McDonald, listed at 6'3", weighs 215 pounds. McDonald, Cole McDonald is more of an athletic athlete at the quarterback position rather than a passer at the quarterback position. If he can break contain of edge rushers, look for McDonald to burn their defense with his legs. Not afraid to mix it up with safeties and corners. He will drop his shoulder in hopes of bulldozing and attempting tackler. It's like somebody familiar, ain't it? has shown some breakaway speed for a quarterback that could potentially lead to big plays. McDonald's ability to navigate the pocket helps with some big play opportunities in the scramble drill. Keeps his eyes downfield, scanning for the open receiver. He uses play action and read options well with the threat to run. He uses those opportunities to sling it down the field for touchdowns. He does a good job attacking the seams of a defense that resulted in a lot of points for Hawaii. On to his weaknesses. Mechanics will be the main aspect of McDonald's game that will need the most work. His release doesn't promote confidence in his deep ball accuracy. The release point being the biggest issue. With proper throwing mechanics, he can improve, but his velocity is below average for an NFL quarterback. Fixing his throwing motion should help elevate some of his throws. The ball needs to come out clean to help his velocity as well. On the topic of his release, a lot more issues arise when you look at his throwing setup. He takes too long to get the ball through his wind up and throw. Being just a tick quicker could go with constantly throw with tight windows as you suffer with ball placement. At the NFL level, those windows will be tighter. Doesn't have the arm strength to fit the ball onto his receiver. He can be late on the ball, getting the ball out as well, which will increase his turnover work that throws at the next level. So to me, that sounds like he got some traits of Taysom Hill as a NFL quarterback. He may have a better arm than Taysom Hill, but he may need to work on his mechanics, like the scouting report says. But like I said, these picks, man, these quarterbacks, they could get better, man. Sean Payton is a quarterback whisperer. Taysom Hill, they're saying that Taysom Hill is the apparently the heir apparent to Drew Brees, but I really don't believe that. You have to show me, you have to prove me wrong in the preseason, man. I haven't seen enough. I wasn't impressed enough with what I seen out of Taysom Hill as a franchise quarterback during his games in the preseason. I wasn't impressed, but he does other great things that very few people can do, few players can do as position. But hopefully I'm wrong, and he becomes that heir apparent. But I think that if this guy is in a training camp and he soaks up everything he learns from Drew Brees, and he's coachable and learns from Sean Payton, and pay attention to what Sean Payton is teaching, I believe they can have a potential franchise quarterback in Cole McDonald. You know, playing in the dome, you pretty much can mask those deficiencies when it comes to the deep ball. But I think this was the guy they'll draft at the fifth round. They don't have a seventh round selection. I have a seventh round, so I'm going on to the last pick in the draft. Fifth round, sixth round selection. The sixth round selection will be I got him selecting a tight end, and that tight end is Kobe Parkinson out of Stanford University, Stanford Cardinals. Um, I read his scout report. Look at his tape. Have some similarities to Jimmy Graham. 6'7", big guy, tall, lanky. We can use that. 252 pounds. Good size to him. Got some. A two tight end set can is always a blessing for Drew Brees, and in the against opposing defenses. You have two tight end set. Alvin Kamara come out of the backfield. You got Emmanuel Sanders, Mikey Thomas. Taysom Hill on the field at any time. It could be his pick your poison. But I think this would be another solid pickup for when it comes to depth at that position. Josh Hill can only do so much as a tight end. He's not the greatest receiving tight end for the Saints. Not good at screen game, and I'm just going through a couple things that I've seen read with scouting reports for Kobe Parkinson. Parkinson immediately stands out on the football field with his size. Standing at 6'7", his 33-inch arms tell the story for the Stanford tight end. A school that has produced plenty of NFL tight ends. He's using his length to his advantage and could be well on his way to becoming an eventual starter at the next level. Strengths. It is best to get Parkinson involved in the red zone as often as possible. With his size and length, he is a jump ball target. Not many players in the NFL could compete with his ability to rise above the rest. Not to mention, he has a vertical of 32.5, and he can snag the ball away from his frame. Shows good hands on film, and he consistently high points the ball that keeps defenders from being able to make a play. Parkinson brings the ability to line up in multiple spots on offense, and that allows the team to use creative ways to get him the ball. Can line up out with a big slot inliner as an H-back. Has length to be a solid blocker in the run game. As a receiver, he can win out at all three levels. Although he isn't much of a deep threat, however, with his size, it won't be hard to fit him the ball in tight coverage with huge catch radius. Weaknesses: he's a bit lean in his frame. He can add muscle to his frame and to help in the physical aspects of his game. While he can be a solid blocker, he still needs work on technique to become a better one and get more snaps on the field. He is more of a pass catcher than a blocker at this point. Struggles with leverage due to his size, but needs to nail down technique. It will be a big reason he won't get more snaps without improvement. He lacks the quickness to get into his route quickly. He needs time to get into his breaks. He shouldn't be the first or second option on the play. He needs to work on his release from the inline position as well. The physical aspect of his game leaves a lot to be desired for such a big player. Wow. Man, look. Tight ends are Drew Brees' best friend. One of them. Tight ends and slot guys. If we can get this guy involved in the offense, if he can if Sean Payton, if he can grasp the concepts of the playbook, this offense could be very dangerous. I know that we're talking about the Bucks and well, the addition of Gronk, and they got Cameron Brate, they got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. But the Saints get this guy involved, and he works on those mechanics that we talked about. Make shows the improvement. Saints just can be a very dangerous offense. They got the Saints and the Bucks probably have two of the best offenses in the National Football League. Probably, most likely will. They're projected to. But this guy right here could be another sleeper in the draft. Big tight end, 6'7", good at jump balls. Could be a mismatch nightmare for anybody, any defensive end, any defensive back, safety, whoever you can put on them. But I think that's it'd be a great pickup. Um, Hopefully they make the right choices. But overall, other than that, man, look, this mock draft is pure speculation for me. I probably get out of the five picks that they got, I probably get like one of them right, two of them right, I believe. Everything else is just a crapshoot, pure speculation, guess. Don't take me too serious. I don't know why folks go all out with these mock drafts. I understand that it brings audiences in, and the NFL draft sell hopes to fan bases, and it's great for content. But I just try to the best research I can, see what use common sense and logic to see what the Saints' needs are at. And I believe these needs right here are where it will help the team out. Linebackers a need because they just cannot. It's find it hard to believe that they would go into the season with two linebackers that have a history of not staying healthy. But when they're healthy, they're pretty good, just from what I've seen. And the rest of those picks, man, are pretty much for depth, quality depth. I think if they select Antonio Gibson, he could turn into something for the Saints because of what he can do. The main situations you can put him in, he can win and be a threat to an opposing defense. But I won't be surprised what they do on between now and Thursday. They can move up, they can move back in the draft, move up in the later rounds in the draft. Who knows? They're being real quiet about it, as they should be. It'll be interesting to see how this virtual draft goes. Nobody, going walking across the stage, shaking the commissioner's hands. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably be doing a live reaction with my Saints jersey on to see who the Saints pick at 24 tomorrow night. Well, Wednesday night, Thursday night. My bad. But that's all I got for right now. Let me know how you feel in the comment section below. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. Who you think the Saints should select in these five picks that they have in the draft? I don't know, probably butchered them up, the draft order up. But oh well, hey, I made mistakes. But that's all I got for right now, man. Comment, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel in the comment section below. Who the Saints should select in the draft? Should it move up to draft a quarterback? Should they trade Evan Kamara? How you feel? In the description box below. Also check out sportstalk365.com for latest content on the world of sports. Have a blessed day. Peace.